Hello, good people. Thank you for taking the time once more to watch this content that I'm presenting to you today. It's a beautiful new year 2021. Not just the start of a new year, but it's also the start of a new decade, 2021 to 2030. A decade where we expect a lot to happen and for us to set up ourselves to benefit from some of the opportunities that are presented during this decade. I thought that I will come and have a conversation with you on some of the things that I think we have to watch out for. So stick around. I think you'll like what I've got for you. Before I actually get into this stuff, I just wanted to remind you to subscribe to the channel. If you've not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, share the video, and also click on like so that you continuously promote our content. We have an ambitious agenda in terms of subscriptions for 2021. In fact, we're hoping that we will hit 50,000 subscribers in 2021, and your effort is welcome. It's good to set some targets to measure progress, and so that's our target for this year. So I wanted to present to you some of the top 5 areas that I think we should watch out for this year and for the decade going up to 2030. Why are they so important? They're important because, first, a decade spans 10 years. It comes with a lot of changes. Things happen in cycles. And just as the last cycle, there's a lot of developments that are taking place. The coronavirus has changed a lot. And when it's gone, if at all it's gone, and how fast it's gone, when this happens, a lot of other things are going to kick in. Aside from the coronavirus, we have a lot of technological advancements that we need to bring into your attention. We need to position ourselves to benefit from some of this. It's all about building a portfolio. When you plan, you reap the benefits. So I say this because this is going to be the focus of most of what we will discuss during this year. And so I thought that I will group these 5 top areas into topics that I present to you here. If you like, you can watch this video over and over. You can also take notes. Please share this. These are some of the top 5 areas that will bring a lot of changes in the next decade. There will be opportunities to build wealth. There will be opportunities for poverty alleviation. And those that position themselves very well will reap the benefits. So I'm not presenting them in order of importance. I'm just going to do 1 to 5. So what is the first? The first area that I think you need to take note of is that of artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. Artificial intelligence, also referred to as AI, is basically a simulation of human intelligence using machines. So what does that mean? It means that machines are programmed to mimic human action, human activity. This, together with the Internet of Things, 5G, and so on and so forth, is going to bring a lot of technological advancements that will change the way that we operate. There's going to be a lot of new discoveries. For example, robotics, such that you will have, in the next couple of years, robots doing some medical procedures that they may not need humans to perform. You will have, for example, laboratory procedures that will require maybe just a little chip in your body that will analyze all what is happening with you. There will be massive discoveries in the area of medicine. In fact, the coronavirus and the development of the vaccine has brought a lot of focus on biotech, such that there's a lot in the pipeline that is going to be happening. These are things that I'll be discussing with you over time. But I just thought that I mentioned this. AI, or artificial intelligence, does not only bring the technological advancements, there are a lot that are associated with it in terms of job creation. In fact, some people may argue that robotics will replace a lot of a lot of jobs. But on the other side, there's a lot of demand for those to crunch data. For example, you will have new careers. Careers are already, there's a lot of demand right now for machine learning specialists, data scientists, data analytics, and so on and so forth. So how you position yourselves to benefit from all of these advancements would really matter. So I thought that I bring this to you. So that is what we should expect to see from AI, and how can you benefit from this? While these technological advancements will improve health and our way of life, improve standards of living, the direct benefits would come also through being involved with the companies that do these things. In other words, being some kind of a shareholder or buying some stocks and so on and so forth. So we'll discuss a lot of this as we go. So that's area number one. Area number two is that of electric vehicles. Electric vehicles, EVs. There's going to be massive transformation in the next couple of years in the transportation area, vehicles. A couple of years back, Tesla, the company based out of the United States, started producing these electric vehicles, and it seemed to be a monopoly. It started like a joke. It's doing very well, and so far we've had a lot of other companies that are now involved. You have, for example, NIO, you have Li Auto, you have Xpeng, and you have Nikola, and so on and so forth. So there is now a shift from the regular cars that we have now towards electric vehicles, and this is going to be transformative. Why? Because it's not only about the cars, but it's also about the technologies that come with it, fuel stations, hydrogen energy, and so on and so forth. We'll be discussing this in due course. But I just want to bring to your attention, how do you monitor? What indicators do you use, for example, to collaborate this kind of information? Aside from the other companies being involved in this business, you also see the big guys out there that are getting involved. They want to splash the cash. For example, Apple. Most of you own or use Apple products. Apple recently announced that they will be partnering with, I think, a Korean company to produce an Apple car by 2024. That is a big deal. That's a big deal because we know Apple has a lot of cash, and when Apple goes to produce something, they splash the cash. They want to be number one. So you can imagine when they'll be able to launch the Apple car and harmonize all other products, Apple Watch, iPhone, and so on and so forth. They already have the client that they have that they need for this. So are you positioning yourself to reap some of these benefits? This is one of the first indicators that this area will be transformative. You look at others like Microsoft that has been involved in software and expanding their businesses. Microsoft recently is going to partner with the cruise division of General Motors to launch self-driving cars. So this tells you that there is something happening. There's something that's going to be big. How you position yourselves is key. So the EV is one of the areas to look for, electronic vehicles. With EVs come the charging stations. These cars they have to charge the batteries that will be used to run these cars. And so you see little companies that were unknown have now risen in stock, in the stock price. You see, for example, Fuel Cell, you see, for example, Plug. Plug recently signed a memorandum of understanding with Renault to produce EVs. So this is big deal. This is transformative, guys. So you need to know what is happening. So this is the area that we need to focus on in terms of investing. I'm not saying you rush and buy some stocks there and so on and so forth, but I'm not an investment advisor. I'm just saying be aware of what is happening around you. Okay? So the next area number 3 that we must take care of for the next decade is that of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. In fact, money, blockchain and cryptocurrencies. The way we hold and use money is changing and is about to change very big. There's a lot going on. In fact, in the early, a few years ago, just some history. How did Bitcoin come about? Most of you hear about Bitcoin in the news and all of that. Let's remember that Bitcoin came after the 2008 financial crisis, where the stock markets around the world crashed and there was a lot of layoffs and so on and so forth. Businesses were down. And then Bitcoin was invented. This came as a joke, but Bitcoin has really developed over time, such that you have a lot of projects coming up that are going to be using the blockchain technology, crowdfunding, and so on and so forth to finance them. You were probably familiar with Akon City in Senegal when he started talking about this, how he's going to finance that project. A lot has been happening. There's a lot more that we'll be discussing, but look at how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies has evolved. In fact, in the just last December, Bitcoin was trading below 20,000 and quickly went up to above 40,000. Last week dropped to below 30,000 and it's now again trading above 32,000 as at this time that I'm producing this video. So in the same manner, Ethereum has gone up. So what I'm referring to here is not just the fact that these cryptos, they run up so high in value. What I use as indicators to determine that this is an area that we must focus on and reap some of the benefits is I always look at what is happening out there. If you see, for example, some of the big guys like PayPal. PayPal is a provider of intermediary services, payment intermediary services like PayPal. In 2020, they authorized that users of their service can buy, hold, and sell Bitcoin on their platform. That is a big deal. That is a sign of adoption. You also see, for example, BlackRock. BlackRock is one of the world's biggest asset management companies, managing over $7.8 trillion in assets. BlackRock recently authorized 2 of its divisions to invest in Bitcoin futures. So what does that tell you? That is to tell you that they have assessed it and they have analyzed it, they have seen potential in blockchain and cryptocurrencies going forward. So why I bring this information is to enlighten us, to position yourself. This decade is the decade that you either transform your lives, it's the decade that you will transform a lot of situations to make to benefit from the opportunities that we have. So that is it. We know that governments also did not have a lot of interest in blockchain and cryptocurrencies. But recently, it's now the talk of the day. You hear a lot of talk about digital currencies. You hear, for example, Christine Lagarde of the European Central Bank talking about the likelihood of Europe Central Bank exploring Bitcoin. Listen to Janet Yellen, the Secretary of Treasury under President Biden, talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So this interest is to show you that the time is ripe for governments, for industry to be more involved in Bitcoin. One of the strongest indicators, again, that I want to mention for Bitcoin is its use for purchases, online platforms. You know, you can do purchases online when you hold Bitcoin and so on and so forth, ability to change it to other currencies. So this is one of the areas that I think we need to watch out for. And when I talk about watching out for, what do I really mean? Information. Be informed and know what is happening around you. So the take-home message is that money is about to change. How we hold and use money is about to change. And there's going to be a lot of opportunity when you leverage that knowledge and get involved in some of these companies that are either offering some of these products through exchange traded funds or maybe trading this blockchain and cryptocurrencies. You can talk to investment advisors and do your own due diligence and know how to get involved. So that is area number 3. The fourth area that we must watch out for is food. Food. You may think I'm crazy, but what do I mean by food? What I mean here is the demand for food that has always been there is increasing. You know, with the coronavirus, there's a lot that has happened. There's been a lot of job losses. Poverty rates are higher. People stay home. Companies lay off a lot of workers. There are increased bankruptcies. Yet we have to eat. So the cost of food and other commodities has gone up and will continue to be. So because of inflation, how much we pay for food has increased, and it will be. And so if you have arable land or is able to do some animal husbandry, if you've been growing corn, sorghum, millet, beans, bananas, and so on and so forth, know that there is a bigger potential for you to reap some benefits from this. Because as a result of increased demand for food, prices of food will be higher and higher during this decade. The coronavirus, when it goes away, the consequences of it will not go with it. Okay? Right now, we have reduced remittances to family members and loved ones. I mean, overall, remittances from overseas have dwindled. I did a video some months ago about this. Um, most of the dependents on remittances need this money for projects, including farming. Okay? So as people become hungrier and purchasing power becomes lower, we still need this. We still need this to survive, and so food production will not catch up with the demand, and therefore this is why this becomes such a great opportunity. You see, a lot of countries are expanding their food imports just to cope with the demand from their populations. And when I say a lot of countries, I mean even countries in the West and so on and so forth. What people used to eat has also expanded in scope. That means they do not necessarily eat the things that they are familiar with. So this is it. Area number 5, which is the last but not the least, is the African Continental Free Trade Area. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement that was signed in 2018 and is about to be implemented will bring about some big changes in the way trade is done in Africa and globally. So it's time to position yourselves to reap the benefits. We'll be doing a lot of talking and monitoring its implementation here. So you know that the premise of this agreement was basically to allow members of the agreement to remove tariffs from 90% of goods and services, such that the people in the continent can reap the benefits. In fact, the UN Economic Council estimates that the agreement will bring about 52% increase in trade by 2022 in Africa alone. So I know that this is a conservative figure, and it was based on the fact that the agreement was supposed to have been implemented, but it's now been implementation was delayed because of the coronavirus. But you can determine that when this gets implemented and the measures kick in, this may be realized by 2023. So we will have a revision of this. But the big deal is that imagine the companies and individuals out there being able to trade freely with 50% of tariffs removed and travel around the continent. This brings a lot of opportunity for those that are in farming, in technological developments, and so on and so forth. In fact, I know, let's look at some few examples. I know, for example, a few companies in Ethiopia that produce really good shoes. But I know that the market is limited right now because of a lack of a system that enables them to trade, such that they're in competition with importers from China and Europe. I know companies in Rwanda, for example, that produce good mattresses and pillows. So what about the ability to move wine and fruits from South Africa to other parts of the continent, oranges from Egypt, to move to the west or east, plums and mangoes from the Cameroons to move to the other parts. So this is what is going to happen. The opportunities are huge. So I thought that I'd bring all of this to you so that you should really know what is going to happen and be informed. And that is the purpose of this platform. So this lays the groundwork for our subsequent discussions. I urge you to subscribe to the channel, share this video, and look forward to more content that is going to be coming to you. We will have a lot of exchanges. And once more, I want to wish you a beautiful New Year 2021 and say that we must position ourselves for this decade going up to 2030. Thank you for watching.